wash my hair this
I
morning. Welcome back to The Moment Live, my friends, my mommies. I thought it was a Friday, but it is in fact a Tuesday with my good friend Meredith Lynch.
I'm glad it's Tuesday.
I am too. Another week in Moment Land. Okay, this week we actually have a lot to talk about today.
We have so much to talk about
I guess
today.
we start every show saying that, but today specifically, okay, OpenAI sent influencers on a brand trip.
Yes.
And you have thoughts, we have thoughts. The internet is divided on how to feel about it, but you are not divided on how you feel about it. Another thing dividing the internet, Ariana Grande is stepping back from public life. And this is after a lot of scrutiny. And I adore Ariana Grande, so we're going to talk about that. Plus, Northwest, who Meredith adores, canceled her tour.
I mean, adore is an interesting choice of words. I'm fascinated by North, and I also think there are no coincidences in the land of Kardashian.
Oh, I want to know your hot take. I feel like you and North could be friends.
North and I would be a dangerous combination.
Yeah. I think that like Kylie and I could be friends. I think
Mm-hmm.
you and North could be friends.
Honestly, North would actually, I'm so scared of North.
I know, but like she's scary in the exact same way that you are scary. Like I think you would like burn down Troy together. And then later we have creator Megan Thuy. I'm really excited about this. She's joining us from Michigan to talk about the primaries happening today. And I'm really excited because I feel like this is all the primaries. Am I wrong that every single primary happening right now, there's a headline that accompanies it that says, "This will tell how the Democrats move forward. This is the primary." It's like in Maine, in Texas, in Michigan. It's all like, this will be the one. But, there's been a lot of, it's like a punchline out there. So I'm excited what you have to say. Kick us off with OpenAI.
Yeah, so OpenAI, if you haven't seen it yet, I've been talking about this a lot on my channel, but basically OpenAI, which is owned by Sam Altman, and they have many things under them, including ChatGPT. They hosted a brand trip over the weekend in the Hudson Valley for mostly East Coast-based creatives. I would say it's a lot of people who do sort of like business content or more like sort of LinkedIn, like stuff that does really well on LinkedIn, right? Okay. So they hosted a creator retreat at this beautiful Hudson Valley resort.
Oh, the Hudson Valley is really beautiful this time of year.
Okay, although all these people were writing in and being like, "Oh, I'm from the area and the resort's actually not that nice IRL." So anyway, who knows? But it's a casual like $2,500 a night.
Sure.
And it's like these beautiful cabins. So anyway, they hosted this trip, and of course, a lot of the creators are making content about the trip, and they are saying, oh, it was this incredible experience with OpenAI, etc. Now, for me, even just the optics of the trip, when we know the ways in which, and there's so many things to unpack, but the ways in which data centers themselves are having this really harmful effect on the environment, seeing a group of, I would say, pretty, creators who do pretty well for themselves in this beautiful Hudson Valley place that like beekeeping is a big thing there.
I know. I was reading some of the things that they were doing there.
Bird watching.
Farm to table dinners. Wellness experiences. Painting workshops.
Right? And you think about the ways in which these data centers are affecting our environment. It's really hard to sort of see this. And I think it's like, at the end of the day, what they need to do is we need to make AI a little bit more palatable.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of different ways that's happening right now, whether that's Mel Robbins, whether that is influencers going on a brand trip. So
also the acquisition of TBPN. That's what I thought about with this, which we can talk about in a second.
Yes. I mean, so sorry, say more. What like?
Well, no, I found that really interesting. So OpenAI acquired TBPN.
Yes.
Which is a show that we really like. I really genuinely admire those guys, and like,
but their model is fantastic.
Their model is fantastic. What they do is fascinating. They've built an audience, like this, that, and the other. But the fact that OpenAI bought it is fascinating to me because one, it's like they have the money, but they're not a content company. And so what they need is like an outlet that makes people feel like they are safe. And I wonder what their editorial agreement is like how much can TBPN talk about OpenAI?
Sure.
And, you know, I can't really talk about the ins and outs of this, but there was a high profile betting company that we were talking to about a different podcast. Like there are major companies right now that are not are like have a bad forward reputation, and some of the way you're seeing them deal with that is by working directly with creators, influencers like this brand trip.
Right.
But it's also acquiring shows and content that make people feel safer on a regular basis.
I
And I
mean,
think TBPN is part of that for OpenAI.
I don't disagree, but what I would say is like the TPBN audience is pretty much already very okay with AI and okay with data centers in a way. I don't know. They don't have a huge audience. They talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
They don't have a huge audience. They have tech guys.
Yeah.
It's Silicon Valley. These creators are people who like take aesthetic photos of, you know, their food.
Yeah.
And
Did you recognize anyone?
there was one person who I recognized, but yeah, they're not really the people
They're
who
not
I
like
see.
business people.
I would say like they're business adjacent, not the way the TPBN guys are.
Okay.
Like they're definitely a little bit more like girl boss culture, a
Got
lot of
it.
that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I also don't
Totally.
see the TPBN guys going out and being like, I want to make flower crowns and things of that nature. And so it's the fact that they were used, I think also to like, listen, the TPBN guys, they cashed in big time.
Oh, this is not a slight on TBPN. I'm just saying.
No,
I think
no, I
it's
don't
part
think-
of OpenAI's. Like,
Right.
somebody in their comms team was like, "This is going to be good for us."
But here's the thing. The TPBN guys made bank. They're having the last laugh.
Yeah.
These creators who went on this trip, they got used as fucking pawns over the weekend.
Totally.
They don't-
100%.
Like, they're saying they weren't even paid to attend. That's actually more embarrassing.
Are you serious?
That's what they're saying.
That
But I
is
mean, I'm sure their
embarrassing.
expenses and like, you know, obviously it looked like it included
Yeah,
3
yeah.
square meals.
Yeah.
But like that's actually worse. Like you guys were
Yeah.
truly used as pawns.
Yeah.
And even though they're saying like we weren't required to make content, I'm like, I'm sure you were given a lot of like opportunities. Also, like I would be
What
curious.
did you think this was?
Right.
Like,
no,
what do
no,
you mean?
totally.
Like,
So anyway, all of that to say, now there's some people who have said, like, somebody reached out to me and they were like, so Meredith, I just want to know, like, they reached out to me personally
Yeah,
on my cell phone. Do you want to eradicate AI completely? And I'm like, I mean, I don't think so. I don't think I want to eradicate it completely because we have Dr. Oric on here who talks about some of like the great things that can happen in advancements with medicine and AI, and I trust her opinion. What I do want, and I've said this for quite a while now, is I want guardrails on AI.
yes.
And I can tell you right now that Sam Altman, who's a good friend to Trump, is not out there, you know, trying to put guardrails on AI. And so I think for me, there's a difference between Meredith saying AI should never exist, we should never have anything, instead of going, hey, let's have some thoughtful conversations. Also, like I talked to my niece, she's in college, and she was like, oh yeah, like she was like, I have like 3 exams, whatever, coming up for midterms or something. And I was like, oh, do you ever have papers? And she was like, oh, we don't have papers anymore. And I'm a papers girl.
I'm a papers girl.
Right. I'm a papers girl.
Big
She's
papers
and
girl.
She is too. And she was like, oh, we don't have papers anymore because of ChatGPT. And I'm like, that's the harmful
sucks.
thing. So it's not just the like
That's
AI,
terrible.
it's all of these different things.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what's really harmful. And if we're
Yes.
not having thoughtful conversations about that,
Yes.
which is like, that goes out the window when you're, you know, going on the brand trip.
Did you a couple of months ago read the Ronan Farrow piece in the New Yorker that was investigating Sam Altman?
No.
There was a piece, maybe like, I'm going to call it like 4 months ago, by Ronan Farrow,
Yeah.
looking into Sam Altman. And part of what was so fascinating about it is just how much, like, in some ways, like, if I were to do one takeaway, it's that Sam Altman's personality in some ways is like ChatGPT, in so much as he reflects whatever is happening in front of him. Like,
Oh.
you know how like ChatGPT
Yeah.
and you like put something in, it's like, wow, a really good point. Now that you think about, and then it sort of like expands on what it is that you were already saying,
Yeah.
but in like more robot language. In a lot of ways, that's what Ronan Farrow was describing in his understanding of Sam Altman's personality.
Yeah.
And there we go. And if you'll remember, OpenAI started as a nonprofit. like it was a nonprofit company to not even a company. It was a nonprofit organization to research artificial intelligence. And then like somewhere like
Yeah, he had a dinner with the right tech, like,
Right.
overlord who said, you could do this a lot more,
Well, it was OpenAI and it was research. It was two things. It was researching AI and it was researching guaranteed basic income. And so it was like an entire nonprofit that was looking at like the structure of how AI could be used and how it would affect people. And he was like with Elon Musk. And then somewhere along the line, I don't remember exactly where, it fissioned into what it is now, which is like a huge, 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 huge company. And so to your point, one, totally agree we need guardrails. Like, all due respect to the people we've had on the show, I haven't heard a single representative be like, this is the guardrails. It's all sort of like, we need it.
There's
And
one
then-
person who did talk about guardrails that I've had a
I've heard
conversation
people
with.
talk about it, but I haven't heard anybody be like, and here is how.
Somebody put forward legislation. Somebody that we've had on the show has put forward legislation. I can't remember who it is.
remember which one
It
it
might
is.
have been Mark Rep Takano. My content was like, why didn't you talk about this with Anthropic? Why didn't you talk about this with Microsoft? They've also done these things. So here's the deal. You guys, I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, Ted Lieu is putting guardrails on AI.
Oh,
Yes.
there we go.
Yeah, he has legislation.
Okay.
I knew it was like somebody
That we
local to this
knew, yeah.
area. So, like, I didn't know about them. Now that I know about them, I'm going to talk about them.
Yeah.
But I will also say this. I think it was Anthropic hosted a Claude dinner, because I think
Okay.
Anthropic is Claude.
Yes, it is.
Okay. They hosted a Claude dinner.
I know somebody very high up at comms at Anthropic, interestingly enough.
Here's the deal. I actually, and I'm not saying that but there is a stark difference to me, PR wise, between having a dinner in somebody's local community and having a, 5-star resort experience in the Hudson Valley with beekeeping.
Yeah.
There's-
Well, and also was the dinner with Anthropic, like they can say all they want that they didn't have to post content, but like you do, right?
Right.
And so like with the Anthropic dinner, I could see that as more like there's a difference between being like, I'm doing something informational to build my network, to understand something better. There's another thing where it's like, I'm building out free content or like close to free content for a government contractor. Like,
Well, that's the
ChatGPT,
other thing, you
like,
guys. They have a $200 million contract. So
yeah, like what's next, Palantir? Like,
I did see Lysandra did a video about that.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah. So anyway, I just think that it's one of those things that we should talk about it. And yeah, I mean, I guess it's here in LA this week,
oh, is it?
allegedly.
Where are they
Allegedly.
going to go? I feel like that's now.
Malibu. I bet it's in Malibu.
I bet it's in Malibu, but I bet it will be different because they got so much backlash.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody
Oh
going?
My God. No. You think those people talk to me?
I don't know. You never know. You know what I mean? Like, I have somebody, I'm not going to say it live on the show, but I have somebody in mind who would totally, could be that person. I'm going to tell you afterwards.
That would go on it?
That like, if I saw a picture of them on that brand trip, I'd be like,
Yeah. I mean,
Tracks.
listen, but the funny thing is all these creators who went, like, stood 10 toes down.
Of
and
course.
they continue to, but in the comments, you can tell they're
They're
not
not.
handling
Yeah,
it well.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
guess
yeah.
what? It's like
it's embarrassing.
Sam Altman is laying on a bed of money. and
Literally.
you are laying on looking at your Instagram archive stories
Yeah.
from your fun weekend that you had,
Yeah.
which, doesn't feel that great. So
Not great.
anyway, let's talk about other things
Let's
that
talk
don't feel
about-
that great.
Yeah, oh yeah. Okay, so Ariana Grande's team, I was saying this before, is like I don't really have parasocial relationships with celebrities for a whole host of reasons, except I have a lot of affection for Ariana Grande.
Well, there's a difference between having affection for somebody and having a parasocial relationship.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Let's let the
I guess
Swifties,
that's true.
right? Like
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah. I just like, I feel like Ariana is like somebody, and then I'm going to talk about it. Here's why I have such a parasocial. I think she's so talented.
Yeah.
She's so genuinely talented.
Yeah, sure.
And she's funny and she's smart and we've seen her grow up in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, I just, somebody who's that genuinely talented, I'm like, I want the best for them. There's so many celebrities where you're like, ugh, there's like nothing, like go away. Like nobody asked for
Right.
this. But I'm like, this is a gift that she is a public figure because she shares a gift with the world. And that must be really hard because Ariana Grande's team released a statement over the weekend saying that after she wraps her current Eternal Sunshine tour, which will end in London, I believe September 1st, she's going to be taking a step back away from public visibility. She said it says that her work has led to endless ongoing public scrutiny. So, of course, she's been like rail thin in the public eye.
Yeah.
She's been like scary, scary thin. She released her new album, and the visuals that went with it were like really scary, you know? Like she's so like beyond, you know, like it's skeletal. And we don't know what's going on with her, right? Like we don't know whether this is an eating disorder or there's some underlying medical issue, or like we just don't know. And I thought it was interesting in the statement that they like put it on the public. They were like, this is your fault.
And she's done that before. Remember when she, like, during the Wicked sort of press hype up,
Yeah.
people were commenting, and she made a video that
Yes,
was
I
like,
remember this.
don't talk about people's bodies. And then a lot of people got this, like, real, like, then that's where the parasocial stance came out. And we're pretty, like, you know, you guys are all doing this. It's all your fault, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
It's, you know, it's interesting because I was talking to my sister about this. And on the one hand, I'm like, I don't like that her team put it on her fandom, because her fandom is worried about her. Like they can see how sickly she
She's
looks.
also a performer who, like, her physical presence is very like, she's not Sia.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. She's not Sia, and she's not like Joan Didion. She's not like
Right,
behind the
right,
scene. You know what I mean? She's not like
exactly.
a
So
writer.
We
Yes.
see her physically a
Yes,
lot, and
yes.
her success has been very dependent
Physical,
upon
yes.
that.
Yeah.
Here's where I struggle,
Please.
because I looked it up today.
Okay.
I understand this whole thing of like we shouldn't comment on people's bodies, and you know, but it's hard for me when she is
Yeah, no,
just
no,
like
I agree.
doing these videos where her body is the focus of
yeah.
it, and it's clearly like
And
whether
it's like sick. You know what I
Yes,
mean? Like
yeah.
she looks truly sick.
and we've been through this before with other stars, and like, you know, we remember what it was like to see these people in the late 90s, etc. Here's where I struggle. Do you remember when she licked the donut?
No.
In 2016, Ariana Grande was at a bakery. There were on the counter, which probably violated health codes, there were like raw dog and donuts that I think hadn't been put under the trays
Got
yet.
it.
She
I
picked,
could really go for a donut right
oh
now.
my God, I know. Actually, like I'm thinking about these
Yeah.
donuts. It was an American flag donut.
Okay.
She, I believe, said, "I hate America." Which, like, listen. In 2016, it was it was really different to say "I hate America" in like
And then
July of 2016.
Yeah.
And then, what the fuck? I hate Americans. I hate America. Thank you, Vienna. She then licked the donut, and it was caught on camera. So then when the footage was released by TMZ, she said her reason for doing it was because of the childhood obesity epidemic in the United States.
Who on her team do you think was like out there like machinating, be like, what could we the childhood obesity? Everybody misses Michelle Obama. Let's go childhood obesity.
Well, she wasn't gone yet. Michelle Obama was still around.
There we go.
'cause-
Maybe that was part of it.
There it is. Okay. So here's the deal,
Wow,
you
that's
guys. It's very rich to me that somebody who literally was like, I did this in protest because children are obese, is then like, you can't talk about people's bodies. Like it just
That's a
it's
good point.
Like it
That's
doesn't
a
add
good
up.
point.
And I'm just like, oh, so I don't know. I just have found the whole thing.
I think that's a really fair deep cut. You know what? Evidence sustained.
Also, too, I think it goes back to this idea that like we still have, and like somebody was coming in my comments the other day, or I saw a video about this. This is that like we just assume that like because of what has happened, like the way that like bodies have been, that if you have a bigger body that you're unhealthy, that you have a smaller body that you're healthier, and like we need to end that that's still around.
I know. I went on a date once with a guy who was very, very concerned with Lizzo's health. And I was like, but you're not concerned about like, I don't know, even like Kim Kardashian, like the amount of plastics that she puts into her body. Like I'm not, that's not, I'm just saying like, why is it that you think that this person is
Are you
distinctly
friends with
unhealthy?
Lizzo? Are you
Yeah.
Lizzo?
Do you actually care about Lizzo?
Yeah.
Or are you making a comment that makes me think that if I gained any amount of weight within the next 6 months, we would, I
Just
did not
because
continue
someone
to see
is in a
him,
bigger body does not mean that they're not
No.
as healthy. Like
For sure not.
And just because someone's in an like what I would
Yeah.
say is like a, thin body, not even like Ariana Grande,
Yeah.
does not mean that they're healthy.
Definitely
So,
not.
I
In
don't
fact,
know.
when I've been at there have been a couple of times where I've been really, really, really thin in my life. And I remember people being like, you look amazing. And I was really sick.
Yeah.
Like, not with an eating disorder,
Yeah.
but sick with something else
Yeah, yeah.
that
No,
was
that's
keeping
the
me
other
really,
thing
really
too.
thin.
Yeah.
That's the thing with Ariana Grande, too, is like, that's where I have a lot of empathy for. I mean, I have a lot of empathy for her, period, because I really like her as a performer. But like, we don't know. People are like, she has an eating disorder. And like, yes, that seems like a very distinct possibility, but she might also have something totally else wrong with her. You know what I mean? Like, she might actually be sick.
If that's the truth, should she really be performing?
No,
at the
God,
level
no.
that
No,
which
no,
she
no. I
is?
think
So
this
like,
is no.
like she
God,
should
no.
maybe she shouldn't even
Be
be
on
doing
this
as
tour.
much as she's
Oh,
doing.
no. I agree, and I also, I was talking to somebody about this, and it's tough because it's like, there's probably people who are around her who are like, no, you have to keep going, and you have this responsibility, and you have this thing coming up, and you committed to this, and you have this money that you need, and then there's probably people around her that care about her that are trying to get her off. And like, it's not like you and me, where it'd be like me and Mike being like, Meredith, you need to take a break. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it would be with you.
Yes.
But if it was like, Aria, there's like entire executive teams at record labels that are in her ear. Should we bring in our guest?
Yeah, I'm so excited for our guest. Oh my gosh. She's a legend. She's an icon, and she is the moment. You guys, Megan Twohey is a content creator, a progressive organizer, and the builder of digital coalitions. The amount that Megan has accomplished in just, I would say, like the last 18 months is just so incredible and impressive. And I'm just so grateful to know her and to keep seeing everything that she's doing. And she joins us live from Michigan. Megan.
Hello. What a nice intro. Oh my gosh. I'm like so honored.
Good morning.
Meredith is the best.
No, I
True,
mean,
can confirm.
no, I mean, I'm just like, I'm so impressed by, first of all, like the stamina that you have and the way in which you approach so many of these issues and like the nuanced ways in which you look at them. And I don't know, it's just like
Just
it's
sorely lacking on the internet.
Yeah, I know.
Aw, that is true. That is very true. But I've learned from the best. But hi. It is
Hi.
good to see you guys from
Okay,
here
so
in Michigan. Hello.
Yeah, let's talk about Michigan.
oh my gosh, first of all, thank you so much for joining us because I know that you're like truly boots on the ground there right now. Today is Michigan's Democratic Senate primary, and it's become one of the biggest proxy battles for the future of the Democratic Party. It's essentially a showdown of, I would argue, the progressive wing and the establishment wing, being played out by Abdul El Sayed and Haley Stevens. So I'm curious to know, like, obviously, we've been seeing a lot on our feeds, and I feel like a lot of it's not coming from actual
Yeah,
Michigan.
totally.
So I'd be curious, what is the feeling when you are there talking to voters?
Well, I would say it is like there's a lot of energy here. I mean, there's a lot of Abdul support here. I have not seen any Haley Stevens support, but maybe it's just where I am. But even people who are coming from like middle of nowhere Michigan are seeing Abdul yard signs where they're like, there is no way that in any other time in the world there would be Abdul yard signs in the middle of Michigan. Because it really is beyond, I mean, I think like APAC is overused to the point where it's like its meaning is diluted. So like even bigger than that, Haley Stevens takes crypto money, she takes AI money, she takes all of the money from everywhere. They're dumping, so far the count is at 61 million in outside spending in just attack ads against him, whereas he's not taking any corporate PAC money. So people really do see this as like, do we want people to be able to buy our elections like this or not? And it seems that people don't. Now, when you're up against that much money, though, it is like we don't want to get too confident. But people are really tired of, and Michigan too. I mean, Michigan is blamed for when Hillary lost, blamed for when Kamala lost. So there
Totally.
is this like desire to be like, we're gonna show up for the candidate that we want, and we're gonna bring him to the finish line. Is the energy that I'm seeing here.
It's interesting that you brought up the Kamala, and because like Dearborn was such like a big thing in the 2024 election, whether that a thing that we keep hearing with all of these primaries is like, this is the one that's going to define the direction of the Democratic Party going forward. I feel like I heard this, I was saying at the top, I've heard this with the Texas primary. I heard this in the Maine primary. Do you really think that this is going to help define the direction of the Democratic Party, or is this just sort of like a headline that we keep hearing? Like, is this actually going to influence how the Democratic Party starts running candidates?
Um, I mean, that's hard to say. Are you still getting a lag? I don't know if
Yeah, yeah.
a little lag.
It's all good. Yeah, if
Okay.
you want to drop down to 1080, you might
Yeah,
be
I
good.
don't know.
But
Okay.
yeah,
I don't know how to do that, but
it's all good.
yeah, so it's hard to say. It's hard to say because I don't think that, I mean, Chuck Schumer has been very clear that he does not want him, Abdul Sayed, to win. And I don't, I know like a CNN report came out saying that he and Gildebrand in New York were really pushing for Mallory McMorrow to drop out so that she wouldn't split votes from Haley Stevens.
Right.
I feel like the Democratic Party is very much holding on to its last bit. I mean, yeah, like so I don't know if it's going to change the way the DCCC is going to do things, but I do think it changes the way elected officials are voting on issues. Like we just saw the Thomas Massey's amendment to strip $3.3 billion annually and 104 Democrats voted yes, which is massive. And I don't think that shift would happen without people seeing their seats are in trouble and that these candidates are being elected. So I do think
That's a good
we
point.
see like whether or not he wins, they're seeing like we're going to see a change in the way people vote. Now, whether or not it is like substantive enough to like actually shift the party, I don't know. But we are seeing like there is a reaction within the party in the way they're voting on issues.
Tomorrow, allegedly, we will know who is going to be the Democratic nominee. And whether that's Abdul Sayed or Haley Stevens is actually going to become the bigger, like that's going to become the lesser issue, obviously, because one of them won't be. What do you think? Like, who do you think has a better chance of actually winning? And what do you think this race becomes after tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, one thing that I think, again, with the $60 million, those companies all also give money to Mike Rogers. And Mike Rogers, as a Republican, is going to be more favorable for those for those companies. So what is Haley Stevens going to do when those companies are like, we don't need you anymore because Mike Rogers is the one who is going to. And so, like, are they going to keep giving her money to prop her up in a campaign? No. Why would they do that when, like, Mike Rogers is going to be their guy?
That's right.
So I think we've seen that without all of that money, Abdul has been able to really build like a massive coalition and get a lot of support and can keep doing that. Whereas, what is Haley going to do? Like, girl can't even answer questions. Like, I don't think she doesn't really have much to stand on other than 60 million. So I think it's going to be a close race. I think people are going to have to like keep it going and there's going to be even more up against him if he wins. I just don't think she has anything to stand on if she wins.
Yeah, what do you think has gotten people to vote for her in the past? Because like she is a representative.
Yeah.
Like clearly she's gotten some votes.
And there's also something about her that's like you put it this way is like, and I don't know how to say this with all due respect, but I'm going to. It's like there's like a little bit of a punchline to her. Like,
oh
she's,
yeah,
you know,
Haley's
like
a punchline.
She's got this sort of like thick accent, and she like speaks in a really ridiculous. She reminds me a little bit of like when Howard Dean was like, yeehaw.
She would do actually. It's so funny because she would do so well on Celebrity Apprentice. She would.
Yeah.
She'd do great on reality TV.
Totally.
Like she's going to be on Special Forces.
Totally.
That's like if she doesn't win, then she's
That's
out of
her
a
next,
job.
yeah.
Like I'm sorry, I don't mean to be misogynistic, but like I can't see her being like, I'm going to do Democratic strategy. I see her
Yeah.
like on Celebrity Big Brother.
Totally.
Hey guys, you might remember me.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to stick it to them. Anyway, what has gotten her elected? I'm working on my Haley Stevens, guys. It's not there yet.
I genuinely don't know. Like, this is something I'm like, how many people, and I'm sure there are a lot, how many people are sitting in Congress? And I'm like, wait, you absolutely totally suck. But if you look at some of the other like Michigan races, we have Shree Thanander, who is up against who is he? Donovan McKinney. And Shree is another one who I'm like, how have you gotten this far? Like, he had a pharmaceutical lab that and abandoned like 700 puppies or something, like 70 puppies, something like that, in this lab.
Not the puppies.
And then there's I'm just like, they were like, there's this really sad video of them rescuing the puppies, and they like were touching grass for the first time, and it's like, how is this man like in Congress? I don't know. I don't know how she got in. I mean, her callback is like what she did for Obama in 2009 is her like big
Mm.
claim to fame. And I don't know if she's just been riding on the coattails of that for this long. I don't know if they've just been able to go under the radar this long because people haven't really been paying attention. She's just had a
Mhm.
lot of corporate money, like for name recognition and yard signs. I have no idea. But like everything she brings up, like she'll say she has an ice Accountability Act, and I like look it up. There's zero co-sponsors on that bill, and it was filed in March. Like, I'm like, what are you doing, girl? Like, you're literally not even doing your job over there. You can't even get a single co-sponsor on a nice Accountability Act. Like, I have no idea. I think a pivot to reality TV would be really fun for her. I think I don't really know what else she brings. We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the things I'm fascinated by with Haley is that she married a guy she knew from high school, like, I don't know, 5 years ago, I think, sometime in 2020. Must have been a small wedding. It was COVID times. No, because it was COVID
Okay.
times. Yeah, I mean, like, I hope it was. I hope it wasn't a super spreader. But she married this guy, right? And she'd known him since high school. They're married like 11 months, and then they get a divorce. I'm fascinated by that. I'm like,
Yeah.
what happened?
Yeah.
Okay, like that. So that's why
She seems like a messy,
There must
messy
be
girl.
tea, right?
Yeah, there must be
exactly.
tea.
Because if you've known, like, it's one thing if you
Yeah.
meet somebody and like you really quickly, but it's like, wait, you knew this guy for a long time.
Mhm.
Like, you've known this guy since you were like 15. So anyway, okay, sorry, that's just like my little
Little
Haley
tea,
moment.
yeah.
But the other thing that I wanted to ask you, because I was listening to something on CNN about this earlier, and they were saying like, okay, is Michigan a blue state that just
Thank you. Sorry.
Sorry.
That was going to be my question too. Go.
a blue state that just loves Trump, or are they a purple state? And what are you feeling being actually there? Because I think that the problem is a lot of people like here, I label myself as a coastal elite,
Yeah.
don't really have an idea of what the true experience is. And you're actually there and you do work that goes to a lot of these areas. So what would you say?
I think it's a disenfranchised state. I think that it is, if you think about what happened with the water with in Flint, if you think
Mm-hmm.
about and I think it's almost kind of similar to Illinois, except for Illinois is so rigged that it's like fake blue, but there's a lot of there's like a very black population in Detroit. Then you have like the rural communities, then you have the fishing. There's so many different communities. And I think with Trump, at least he offers like populist language. But like
Hmm.
these corporate Democrats they can't reach people who are like, you were not relatable, somebody who can
Mm-hmm.
actually
Mm-hmm.
talk to them. Um, so I think it really comes down to not so much red or blue or but people just wanting to feel like the person they elect actually understands what they're up against, because that they've been so neglected and by politicians. But I guess we will see.
That feels like the narrative across the country to me is like people are much less
Mhm.
red and blue. Trump and MAGA spoke a specific language, and through Fox News and like through
Mhm.
other, mouthpieces that spoke to those people, it was less about policies and more like, oh, finally somebody who sees and understands me. Do you think Abdul El Sayed speaks to that? Or like, do you think that he can channel that? And are there other candidates elsewhere in the country that you think sort of typify that?
Yeah, I think, and unfortunately, I don't think the media really like props up those sound bites where he is like really able to show that. But he was the the public policy health medical director, whatever, of Wayne County, which is, where Detroit is. He spent every day with these people. He got free glasses for kids. They get their eyes checked, they pick out their own glasses. He's been fighting, the data centers that are polluting and impacting their communities. He's been doing these things that like actually matter to them, eliminating medical debt, things like that. And also just being somebody who, he has an MD, he has a PhD, he's a Rhodes Scholar, and then he decided he wanted to work in public health because he's like, how am I supposed to help people if they can't even like I became a doctor to help people and I can't help people because our policies are garbage. And I think that's something that people have really resonated here because he's been working in the community for however long. Whereas I just don't see the same with Haley Stevens. Um, and then in terms of like the rest of the country, I mean, we're seeing like a surgency of the same where it's like people are just tired of like politicians who have just gone through the steps of what's next, and they want to see people who really do understand their community, have worked in their community, understand like what their community is up against. But we're seeing that wave across the country. So again, we will see how it plays out. I mean, we still have to get to the general, so
I
so we
know
will
that's the
we will
thing.
see.
Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, how these things play out in the general too, because the primaries, like the common wisdom is like you run to the left in the primaries and run to the center. I mean, that's more for like presidential. But I wonder, like a Democrat is stepping down from that seat. It's not replacing a
Right.
Republican. So I'm wondering, like, do you think there's any worlds like is it just sort of like a given that a Democrat will likely win that seat?
Right now, it's shown like the polling is very neck and neck. It's showing like some polls will show him by like Abdul by like 2%.
Hmm.
So it's just going to be one of those things like we're going to have to keep it going, and I think people in Michigan are very determined to show that when they have a candidate that they like, they will bring them to the finish line because they have, like I said, with Hillary, with Kamala, they have
Mm-hmm.
this reputation. So I do think there's like a little fight in Michigan just to be like, we're going to prove it to you that like if we don't have the candidate we don't like we will, we'll move this to the end. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I kind of think that I heard something ages ago. I can't remember what it was on, maybe NPR, but basically how like this sort of era of like 8 years of a Democrat and then another Democrat comes in is kind of over because people
Mm-hmm.
get so disenfranchised with like
The
whoever
ruling
is in
party.
charge. So that's sort of like that's actually I would argue going to work if you're going to subscribe to that against the Democrats because it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be like, well, we've had a Democrat, and
Yeah.
that's like why I think that Trump won in 2016 and then why Trump won in 2024 is because it's like now we're ping ponging in a way and
I
why
also
he
think
lost in 2020.
even here in California, I
Yeah.
think that's been sort of part of the rhetoric with like Spencer
Right.
Pratt. People were like, well, we've had Democrats in power forever and look where that's gotten us. So I'm
Right.
going to give somebody like Spencer Pratt a try, although he didn't win. But
Sure. I'm still collecting the votes. No, I'm just kidding. The last thing that I want to say is,
that was a long
when
one, a long count.
yeah, right.
yeah, California doesn't know how to count. They know how to count about as well as I do.
But one of the things that I have noticed about Haley Stevens is I think she does something that's a little Trump-esque in that, she does this thing where she's like, "You've seen the kids on the internet, the coastal elites making fun of ya." And she talks I don't know, like a guy that would like hassle you if you were in the 1930s and you got off a bus in
Hey,
LA.
see?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, "Hey kid, you're gonna be a star. I'm gonna put your name in lights. It's gonna say APAC." Okay, but
That's good.
she seriously does this thing where she's like, "They're making fun of you, Michigan. They're
Yeah.
doing this.
That's
They
true.
think they're better than you."
That's
And
true.
it's like that really does feed into that
That's a really
same
good point.
sentiment that Trump was able to tap into. And I think like if you said to Haley Stevens like, "Oh, hey, you're kind of doing the same approach as Trump," she'd say, "Oh, no." But I disagree. And I just like as we end
Yeah, no,
here,
that's a good
I would
point.
love to know your thoughts on that. Do you see something Trump-esque about Haley Stevens?
I see a lot of Trump things about Haley Stevens. The way she debates, she doesn't answer a question. She deflects, she attacks, she, will try to bring up someone who has complimented her or endorsed her and then move on. She had this tweet about Abdul the other day, which like I think Homegirl was drinking, but she just like goes on these rants and it's like very out of pocket and very like, what are you talking about? And then yeah, trying to be like the elites. It's like, girl, you have no room to
You
talk
are
when
You
you
the
have
are the
elite.
$60
elites.
million in outside
Yeah.
spending. Yes. And also like same with Trump, where I'm like, you're a billionaire with a
Yeah.
silver spoon in your mouth. Like, what are
Yeah.
you talking about? So
I mean, although Abdul Al Saeed is
yeah,
a
no,
Rhodes
I think
Scholar, like they're all elites. That's the thing is like the sort of rhetoric about like, oh, how they speak is what it's like. They're all, they're all elites.
It's such a dog whistle. I made a post about this the other day. How what Haley Stevens did there was a dog whistle because when Nixon was campaigning, he was campaigning on the elites, and what they meant by elites at the time, because they were trying to get the North and the South like kind of a coalition. They were referring to legislators for passing civil rights legislation. They were referring to like legislators who were being
Mm,
moved by people and enforcing civil rights to the South that didn't want. And so like, look, the elites are getting involved. And
interesting.
I think she's using the same thing. Like she's referring to people who are wanting to push the party in a different direction, but they're being moved by the people. They may be elites, but they're being like their agenda is different than her agenda, which is AI, crypto, and APAC.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a dog whistle. I think it's very Republican-esque, and yeah, I don't know if it's gonna work, but again, we'll see. Hopefully tonight.
Well, Megan, remind the people where they can find you.
They can find me on Instagram, Megan Tweet. My handle is here. I'm on all the things as Megan Tweet. So yeah, you can follow me. I will be at Abdul's party tonight. Hopefully covering it if I remember. But hopefully it'll just be fun, and you'll get the updates from other people.
Thank you
Cool. Thank you
so
so
much.
much. This was a
Bye.
pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Whew. It is really interesting, these little races that become like a microcosm for everything. You know,
Yeah.
like I think that I just like there's so many headlines for all of these where it's like, this will define the future of the Democratic Party. And you know what? To be fair, I do think that Zoran Mamdani became like I think he bore that out. And the question
Right.
is whether that's true across every single one of these races. Hard to say.
Right.
Because also they're really different as like James Tallarico is very, very different than Abdul El Said. And how are they both the future of the Democratic Party in Michigan and tech? You know what I mean?
And
Like it's
also,
all
like, a senator is so deeply different than a mayor.
Yeah.
And that's like the other thing, because then it becomes this like talking
Totally.
point of like, you want Zoran's New York
yeah.
in Michigan.
Totally.
And I don't know. I think like I was thinking it this morning when I was coming in, I was like, I don't know how it works around campaign policy and campaign finance. And there's somebody who's smarter than me who I can ask. And I was thinking I should reach out to them. But like the Democrats just got to focus more on just saying people, hey, let's just vote.
Yeah.
Just vote. Just vote.
Just vote. And
Like,
also
I was
like
thinking about all the people who probably just aren't even fucking registered right
Yeah.
now. And like we're at like 100 days and we're all like fighting over these, different races and places that people don't even fully understand, self included.
it's the things that I think that the best thing that she said is it's less about somebody that speaks that language and somebody who more deeply understands the community they're running from. Like I think that's part of it too, is like people want representatives that they're like, you grew up here or you have like have a personal vested interest in the care of this community. And I think that's what people want, is somebody who's like, we elect officials from our community to represent us in Washington, and they don't want it to be the other way around, which is like
But
somebody
somebody
who's
complete
Oh, of
opposite
course,
of that.
of course,
So that's
of
why
course.
where it's like, oh, sometimes it does work
yeah,
if you
but
can cosplay it
on
well
a
enough.
national level,
Yeah,
it's different. It's
No,
different.
I know.
What's having a moment for you?
Oh my goodness. My head is spinning. I can't
Goodness.
even think of what's having a moment for me right now, because sometimes we get out of these conversations
know.
and I'm just like, oh my God,
I know.
I don't even like, I guess like just vote. Like, no,
Voting
I'm
is
not
having a moment for
kidding.
me.
I think like it's really important for people. Like we sit here and we have all these conversations about, the complexities of these races and who's taking money from whom, blah, blah, blah. But like at the end of the day, if you're not registered to vote, and you can be registered to vote, because that's a whole other
Sure.
issue. Like, I truly don't think you get to fucking bitch and complain about it.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of like, Monday quarterbacks, and I'm
Yeah.
like, and you've done what exactly?
Yeah, and not everybody has to be out there door knocking. Not
No.
everybody, and I don't even need to know who you're fucking voting for.
I don't
It's
care.
your-
I truly don't care.
I kind of care.
You kind of care?
I mean, like, I'm sort of fascinated by this Haley
I
Stevens
know,
character.
I
Like, I
know,
find
she
her
is-
to be.
It's too bad
Remember
there's
when
no
I sent
SNL
you?
right now.
I sent you her at first, but you didn't know
I
she had
didn't
all
know
this
that she was-
craziness
yeah.
behind her.
I
You
just
didn't know
thought she was like fun and kooky.
She does seem like I mean, it sucks that she like is really in
What
bed
did she
with.
call the gals?
Oh, okay. Okay.
You're gonna get canceled for doing this accent.
No,
Michigan is
why?
gonna come for you.
Why? I think
Michigan
it's
is
pretty
gonna
good.
come
I
for
think it's
you.
pretty good. I'm at the fish fry in Detroit. It's a gorgeous day. 2 minutes in, the gals come up to me. They say, "What are we gonna do about our utility bills?" Then I'm dealing with my friend Tracy. She can't afford meat, or she just hasn't been buying it.
It's pretty good.
That actually
It's
was pretty good.
really, really good. It's really good. Haley Stevens is either going to hire you or hire a hitman to take you out. One or the other.
I don't think that. Actually, she would hire it.
Right?
Like, that's the thing. She'd be like, "Oh, I wouldn't." Don't
Like,
you know,
Meredith Lynch.
Oh
Meredith
my God,
Lynch.
you guys! Was having a moment for.
Oh,
Sorry, I
walking
forgot.
in here this morning, it was announced that Bowen Yang is the next O'Mary.
Oh Jesus fucking Christ!
Which, like, we all knew this was coming. We all knew that Bowen Yang would make the perfect O'Mary. But, like, the O'Mary casting team has my exact sense of humor.
I haven't forgiven them for the fucking Tallarico Jasmine Crockett thing. It was so
Oh, that's
weird. I just thought it was
right.
so fucking weird.
That's
They
true.
were like, yeah, don't support Jasmine Crockett. And
Yeah.
it's like it's fine if you voted for James Tallarico, but the fact that they got on there with like, no, they're like and said that, I was just like, ooh.
She didn't like it.
I
I know
didn't
she
like
went
it.
after him. I remember this. This was
Yeah.
a weekend for us.
Maybe someday I'll tell you guys about what actually ended up
This
happening
was a
behind the
weekend for
scenes.
us. Well, he should stay where he's supposed to be.
And yes,
which
I
is
agree.
playing
That's
O'Mary.
exciting. Yes, that's
And
very
it's
exciting.
just like you knew that he was going to be O'Mary at some point, and I think this is so fun. And O'Mary's traveling exhibition, what are you going to call it? Traveling tour is coming to LA.
I
And so
know.
I finally get to see it.
Do you have tickets?
Not yet,
Okay.
but I have to get tickets.
I know. Do you want to go?
Yeah. Do I want
Maybe
to
your sister
go?
wants to go
Of
too.
course she wants to
Yeah.
go. Yeah, no, the
Um,
girls are going.
Yeah, we'll figure it
Yeah,
out.
it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you to Megan. We will be back on Friday with
it's-
Dr. Sarah Orrick. And so I think we'll do a lot more
On
coverage
Lindsay
of the Lindsay
Clancy.
Clancy case that
Yeah.
day. All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.